So obviously we have a lot of phone calls from sellers that want to sell their property, and the debate is either whether to take the cash offer or to list it with an agent.
And first point on that, it makes sense. You know, the environment that we're in right now, we're still short of inventory. There was a report that came out from the White House. Actually, they said we were short 10 million units. Whether it's 4 million, 5 million, or 10 million units short, it makes sense that if you go list a house and it's not perfect, there's a high chance it's going to sit for a long time, right?
So basically, the buyers still have a lot of options, and they don't really need to buy the specific listing. If the listing, if the property is not fully renovated, there is no reason for the buyer to buy a house and to put a lot of money into it, especially with the labor nowadays.
Yeah.
And the construction work. People prefer to buy move-in ready, fully renovated house. They're actually willing to pay more money because they're do it through a loan, and they don't need to put out of the pocket.
Yep. And sellers don't realize they have competition that they didn't have before, and that's new homes. And so for the first time in history, the last time I checked, the data might be a little different now, but I'm sure it's close still. New homes were priced lower. The median sales price for new home builds were lower than the median sales price for existing homes. So what that means is it just hammers your point. And so if I have a house, it's not completely renovated. Let's say it's going to need a full renovation, but it's in pretty good condition. But then 2 blocks over, you have a new home. Maybe it's 200 square foot smaller, right? But it's perfect. You don't have to do anything at all. It is move-in ready. You'll be the first one that lives in there. And the lender is probably going to do a rate buy down with you as well.
Yes.
And so you're going to end up paying, in some cases, significantly less than you would have paid for that existing home down the street. And so sellers are not realizing that they have increased competition when it comes to the market. And so I think that's part of the reason we're seeing more situations where sellers are literally calling us with that debate. They've been debating that themselves. And then they'll literally bring it up to us. You know, they don't know if they should list it or go with the cash offer. And of course, you know, hey, if we can make it work, of course, come with us. You know, we can make it easy. Obviously, there's no closing costs, no commissions. We close on your timeline. There's absolute certainty versus you don't know what the hell is going to happen when you go ahead and list it on the market these days. You literally have no idea. And a lot of people, we're in Las Vegas. I think we have the highest delinquency rate in the country right now. And so we're seeing that coming across our tape every single day. And so we had a guy that we spoke with today for the first time. He's been in our system for, I think, 227 days or something like that. But we spoke with him for the first time today. He's facing foreclosure now. He's pretty much done. He already had the notice of sale. He's getting foreclosed, right? And he called us today. And his goal was to get as much as he can, right? Which makes sense.
Like every other seller.
Yeah,
that's
that goal is justified. You should. If you go sell the house, you should want to get as much as you can, right? In his case, he had to overprice it because of the debt balance. And so he shot himself in the foot because he could have walked away with $5,000, $10,000. Now he's walking away with nothing and a messed up name.
Oh, wow.
And he's an old guy. So he's pretty much done in life.
He has a lot of pressure in time because he needs to move now. He doesn't have any other choices.
Yeah, he's forced to move now.
He's forced.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's not even a choice anymore. And so that's the perfect example of if you're debating between listing and going with a cash offer, the question probably already answered itself.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But let's try still to break down the differences. Yeah. Let's say if somebody wants to list their property with an agent, right? So they need to take under consideration that they have commission. Agent's commission, they need to pay for the seller commission and the buyer commission. We're talking about 5 to 6% in commissions just that going to the seller versus cash offer that they could actually save in their pocket. We're talking about 1.5 to 2% in closing costs that they're going to have to pay. We're talking about 2% in concessions, meaning when the buyer does their inspection on the property, they always comes with a huge list of repairs, usually between 1.5 to 2% from the list price. All those fees, actually, the seller could save in their pocket if they just go with a cash offer, and they can save the time as well because you never know how much time it's going to take them to sell the house.
Yeah.
So the certainty here or uncertainty, it's a big role in this scenario. I want to say something important. it's not about the highest price you can get. It's about the best situation that you can actually get. The best situation can be, hey, we can do it fast. You don't need to do any repairs on your property. You need to move out from it to a different state. We can close it fast. With the traditional way, with agents, you have no idea when you're gonna close. And then if you have a situation like you're behind on your payments, you can be in a big trouble.
It gets really bad really quick.
Yeah.
A lot of these people have $3,000-$4,000 payments, and that adds up very, very quick. And I just want to hammer home on something you said actually about concessions, because a lot of people will look at that and say, well, I probably won't have any concessions, so why would I factor in that cost? Guys, 70% of the properties that's been sold over the last 6 months have been sold with concessions of $10,000 or more. Minimum
Actually,
10,000.
I want to correct you. We flip a lot of houses, right? Basically, they're fully renovated. I don't remember one property that we flipped that we never received a request for repairs from the buyers,
Under 20.
which is concession,
Yeah,
between 10 to 20,000
Yeah.
on a flip house.
exactly.
Imagine if your house is not flipped, is not renovated, is
Exactly.
outdated.
Yeah.
It's probably way more
It's going to
than
be
that.
more. Yeah. So
Yes.
that minimum probably doesn't even apply to you, to the one that thinks, oh, my house is perfect. And here's another thing too, guys, and I'm sorry if it seems like I'm harping on you sellers, but you got to be more realistic in the way that you assess your own home. And what I mean by that is when you go sell a property, it's probably very prudent for you to do market research. Look at what else is selling in the neighborhood. And that way you'll gauge, because we get a lot of people, they'll call and they tell us their house is literally perfect, like it needs nothing. But then when we see it, or they send us photos, or we walk out to see it in
Full
person.
renovation.
Full renovation. In the best case scenario, it's completely outdated, but it still needs a full renovation. Clean, but completely outdated. That's the best case scenario. And so it would do you guys a lot of justice to do more research before you list a property, because you're not hurting us, you're hurting yourself. It's going to prolong the sale, or the time it takes to sell. Is going to create more uncertainty the longer it goes. You're going to start feeling time pressure. And then by the time you get to someone like us, you're going to feel like, oh, now I have to go for this low ball because it didn't sell on the market. No. The whole reason it didn't sell on the market is because of the eye of the beholder.
And I want to say something. So you say, do better homework or better due diligence, right? Usually people just go on Zillow or Redfin, they see the value and they think, okay, my house worth what it says there. And it's a huge mistake, huge mistake. Zillow, Redfin, those websites, they don't really compare your property to apples, like to your specific criteria. They might gonna compare your, let's say you have a pool, they will compare your property for other property without a pool, or 2 stories to a 1 story with a way bigger square footage, or over 1 mile radius, which is the standard is 1 mile. And they say, oh, Zillow shows 500K, you offer me 350. Oh, it's a huge lowball. No, it's not. That's actually that's your value of the property.
100%. I'll make this even more simple, okay? Why would you trust a number that has had litigation based around its inaccuracy? You wouldn't.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And that's the Zestimate for you.